God bless Tubi. What a wonderful streaming platform. A, it's free. Granted, you have to sit through an ad or two, but big deal. And B, the selection is second to none, particularly when it comes to horror. From your A-list horror franchises and genre classics all the way to the Z-list shot in some guy's backyard on a cell phone dreck. And for someone like me who's seen their fair share of horror movies, particularly from the 1980s, Tubi has surprised me on more than one occasion. On one such occasion, Tubi gifted me with 1989's Out of the Dark. Here's the plot. A maniac in a clown mask who's dubbed himself Bobo is offing the sexy employees of a phone fantasy hotline. I couldn't press play fast enough. By the way, do these numbers still exist? Asking for a friend. Or did the internet pretty much put a stake through that industry's seedy heart? Anyway, the movie plays out pretty much like your standard murder mystery slasher, with Bobo doing his thing while suspects are established, motives pondered, and a lot of dirty talk is had. Bobo is a bit theatrical in his approach to offing his victims, and he isn't above dropping lame one-liners like, "Don't call me, I'll call you," after claiming his quarry. At the same time, a no-nonsense cop is obsessed with capturing Bobo, not only because it's his job, but because he wants to prove that he's the best damn detective in LA. And the list of suspects here, oh my. Is it the weirdo CPA who works out of the same building as the girls? Is it the Playboy photographer with a shady past who's seeing one of the girls? Or could it be the detective himself who looks down his nose at the lady's choice of profession? While the plot is nothing new, Out of the Dark does offer a couple of surprises. First, the characters are all likable, and some of them have a little more depth than you'd expect. There's also a couple of nicely suspenseful moments along the way, including some well-executed misdirection during one scene in particular. You're convinced that old Bobo is in one place, when actually he's much, much closer. The kills aren't anything to write home about. We're not treated to any slick practical makeup or gore effects here. But Bobo comes off as a fairly cunning and, at times, pretty creepy antagonist. And despite the copious amounts of nudity, Out of the Darkness never really feels sleazy. Cheesy? Yes. Sleazy? Meh. Maybe I'm just desensitized? But the phone sex stuff is mostly played for laughs, and is actually good for a couple of laughs. The cast is another high point. There's a lot of familiar faces here, including Karen Black, Tracy Walter, Jeffrey Lewis, Bud Cort, Paul Bartel, and Divine. Now, I'm not trying to say that Out of the Dark is some kind of lost slasher classic here or anything. It's not. However, if you love 80s slashers, then it's definitely worth your time. But something bothered me about Out of the Dark and led me down a frustrating rabbit hole when it came to this movie. I mean, how has this movie flown under my radar? How did I not rent this at the video store? If it had been there, I would have certainly had taken it home. How did I not catch it on USA Up All Night, which this movie seems tailor-made for, or at least some other cable channel at 2 o'clock in the morning? Again, thank you, Tubi, for bringing this movie literally out of the dark for me. But where have you been all my life? Or at least a good portion of it. Unfortunately, Out of the Dark is no longer available on Tubi, which moved me to pick up this DVD. And speaking of this DVD, what the hell? First, just look at that. Can you even call it artwork? It's just a frame from the movie. And what's with the boring font and the bland blue color? Who designed this thing? Matters don't get any better on the back. You have all this real estate, and you only put one image back here? Granted, it's not a bad image, but come on. And when it comes to bare bones DVDs, this may be the barest bare bones DVD I've ever seen. As far as extras, they ain't none. Not even a trailer. Which led me to another interesting discovery about this movie. There's no trailer. At least I couldn't find a trailer anywhere. The closest thing to a trailer for this movie is just a short clip from it that's floating around online as the trailer. Whatever movie you consider to be the worst movie you've ever seen has a trailer. This movie? Nothing. Oh, and look at the disc itself. My goodness. At least it has a DVD, I guess, and it is available to purchase. Check out the link in the description. Out of the Dark is a fun slasher. I've watched it twice and had a great time with it on both occasions. It has its flaws, yeah, but it also has its fair share of charm. I say check it out. And hopefully it'll get a better physical release soon. If you've seen Out of the Dark or have any idea why it's just so friggin' obscure, please let me know down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.